RAM issues. My CPU fan failed. The GPUs, the fans failed and fell out. So I was just like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna get a new fucking computer. If I'm getting a new fucking computer, I might as well get a new fucking monitor, because this monitor that I'm currently using as my primary monitor, I bought back in 2013. Its max
Yeah,
refresh
okay,
rate
sounds good.
60 hertz, and it's pushing 1080p without HDR.
Don't complain about 60 hertz because the eye can barely perceive anything above that. And your eyes especially aren't going to, probably.
No, so that's really misunderstood. So there is a limit to the reaction time we can see at, which
Yeah,
is
it's
around
120
30 to
frames per
60.
second.
Right.
It's
But
120 max on adrenaline.
but the thing is that we can detect a difference in smoothness,
Yes.
which is why things at like 144 FPS feel smoother than 60,
Mm.
even if we can only see up to 60.
Yeah, no, I don't know, maybe I'm the weird one, but anytime I see anything at that much FPS, it just looks wrong, like so fucking fake to me.
Okay, Mr.
It, it
CRT.
it's it looks worse than if it were at 60,
Uh,
okay?
yeah, I'm sure. Either way,
And I don't have a CRT, I've
um,
got a 4K monitor.
Sign, I think you're just really susceptible to the uncanny valley effect. I think that's what you're describing here.
I think he's just
Maybe.
retarded.
Because
Keep in
the
mind,
only
this man's the
I
same
promise you,
person who has the opinion that any game with less than 4000K texture is unplayable, and it's too
That's
ugly
not
to look
true.
at.
hang
That's not
on.
true.
Well, hang on a second. Then why the fuck are you complaining about frame rate and saying it don't look right then? Those go
Have
hand
you
in
ever
hand
watched Lord
at
of the
this point.
Rings side by side on a 60K and 120K TV?
Sign.
Considering that 60
Lord of
to
the Rings
120 is not a
Lord of the
thing.
Rings was explicitly shot at a specific frame rate. That's why it looks weird.
Yeah.
It's not Lord of the Rings. It's pretty much any movie you care to
No, no,
name.
no. You said, have you seen Lord of the Rings? Don't give me an
Yes,
an
Lord of the Rings
explicit
is.
example with a specific frame rate and then sit there and act like you got me in some sort of weird gotcha moment when you're being fucking stupid and moving the goalposts the moment I call you out on it.
He's provocating.
You said Lord of the Rings. That is an explicit frame rate picked for an explicit series for specific artistic
seen it.
purposes because they were capable of 30 to 60 FPS recording on the film they were using. They chose 24 FPS specifically. That's why it looks so weird when they try to up the FPS for some reason. I don't know why they do that. It's stupid. Stop doing it. Sometimes the FPS is an artistic choice. Whether
Even
you
if
agree
it's
with
not an
that
artistic,
is a
Unless you're
different argument.
Ubisoft, then it's because you're retarded and you fired all of your good programmers.
well, yeah. But here's the thing:
True.
even if it's not an artistic choice and they're just shooting on film because it's cheap, guess what? Upscaling it will still give you the same weird result.
Yeah.
Don't fucking try.
It depends
I've
on the
seen a
film.
lot of new movies that do the same thing.
Depending on the film, it's not cheap. There weren't a
Yeah,
lot of
Well,
movies
true.
made back
Yeah.
in the day because film was so fucking expensive, but it also had literally the best resolution. We just didn't have projectors that could keep up with it. That's why a lot of like 1930s and 40s movies, when you upscale them to 1080, it actually looks really good because there's no AI upscaling or adjusting there. That's just what the film looks like.
Anyway,
Oh yeah, sure.
so I was looking at around $6,000 to replace everything. Now I have
Yeah.
the money.
Jesus Christ, what are you spending all that money on?
A
Nothing.
computer.
He said a new sign.
No. No.
No, sign.
No, he's
New
not.
computer.
So sign. Here's my philosophy. Whenever, so I will do minor upgrades, where if my motherboard will still support it, I'll upgrade the GPU or the RAM as time goes on. And typically,
incremental upgrades. Yeah.
whenever I reach a bottleneck in terms of my motherboard just flat out does not support a higher tier of RAM. It just does not support more memory. It does not support a new graphics card because it's just the technology has changed. This has happened multiple times now because this is how I use computers. I buy the top tier of whatever is currently available.
Yeah, I would say whenever I buy a new
Okay.
computer, because like I will go when I'm using a desktop, I will go 6 to 7 years
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
before upgrading a computer. And then when I do, I say, okay, I am now going to put down between $4,000 and $6,000, depending on everything that's going on and what I've got. And then guess what? I'm not going to futz with it for another 6 to 7 years minimum. Sometimes, the very first computer I got, I was actually able to keep for 10 years.
Nice.
Like, I've only changed, like, full-out changed gaming PCs, like, 3 times in my entire life.
I'll be right back. Gotta flip burgers.
3 times for me because one of mine exploded.
Yeah. That happens.
Still wet. Drain and spin. So yeah, so that's what I was looking at, because I was like, it was one of those dominoes things where, like, I couldn't, because if I wanted to replace the video card, it was gonna be $1,000. If I just wanted to directly one-to-one replace it. If I was gonna upgrade the video card, it was gonna be 1.5. So I was like, fuck. If I'm already spending 1.5, and I have storage issues, RAM issues, motherboard issues, CPU issues, I might as well just fucking replace it all. So that's why I was going to the 6. And then Sign was like, no, you can just replace the fans on the graphics card. And I was like, oh, fuck, you can? Damn it. So, I bought fans. They're coming in. We're going to see what happens when I replace the fans. Because, I mean, either way, I'm hoping
You got
this
thermal
works.
paste, right?
Well, why would I need thermal paste?
Pretty sure you need to put thermal paste between the connection, the fan and the board.
No,
They work
the
similar to
purpose
GPU
of
coolers or CPU
no,
coolers.
the fans just blow hot air. Sorry, they just blow air on the heatsink. The heatsink's the thing that needs the thermal.
I always figured they came part and parcel.
What?
I always figured the fans were bolted straight to the heatsink for whatever reason, because I've never had a need to take apart a GPU in my life.
See, that's what I assumed myself. That's why I was gonna just replace the GPU. But, you know. No, apparently you can just pop that frame right off and just replace the fans.
Oh, that's useful. So there's no popping the heatsink off. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, you can pop the heatsink off if you're gonna swap it out for a water cool, but the water cooler pump just fucking died on me, and I found out that all-in-one water coolers have this really long history of being absolute fucking dog shit after like 3 years. So I also bought an air cooler to replace the water-cooled heatsink with an air-cooled heatsink. And I figure I'm going to be swapping that out, so I might as well just do all that. And then I also bought more storage. I bought a 4 terabyte NVMe to replace all of my storage on here, because my my hard disk drive, which is 4 terabytes large, I've been using it as storage for a very long time. And by very long time, I mean this disk drive has been active for 9,622 days.
Woo!
I've had this thing for a very long time.
That's a lot of damage.
Frankly, I mean, it's at 81% health, according to the smart disk, so it is failing. I want to be clear. It is failing.
Slowly.
And my solid states is they're getting up. They're at the like 3,000 year mark. 3,000 day mark as
3,000
well.
year mark. Sneaky. I wasn't aware the Mechanicus was hunting you for an STC.
True. Yeah, they're like at the 3,000 day mark themselves, and so they're starting to fail. And you know how it's a little bit different when it comes to solid states failing than the hard disk failing. So, yeah, I was like, I should just replace these. So I have 2 NVMEs already in my computer. They're fairly new. They're like 2 years old, 3 years old. So I'm gonna keep those running for a while as like side disks. But I'm gonna install Windows. So I'm gonna do a fresh install of Windows 10 onto the onto the 4 terabyte because, well, frankly, my Windows installation's also a little bit fucked. So,
No, not Windows. It works perfectly, don't you know?
Windows has never had any problems whatsoever.
I think my
Windows 10
favorite
and
part
11
was
are the
cannot
most
create
stable
recovery
function.
agent,
Ugh.
installation media missing. I'm like, what do you fucking mean it's missing? Yeah, so apparently my my copy of Windows on this computer just does not have a system reserved disk partition.
Well, it doesn't automatically make a recovery/emergency partition.
It's
Not all
supposed
versions of
to.
Windows do that.
Oh,
It's
no,
supposed
it's
to, but it
supposed to.
doesn't
Sometimes
always.
it just
It did
fucks
not.
Decides
up.
not
Like,
to.
Yeah, it
it's
did
yeah,
not.
it's
for me.
supposed
I know.
to. It's supposed to make a 500 megabyte emergency partition. You know what mine made?
Yep.
2 gigabytes.
5
100
megabytes.
meg.
Ah, yes, of course.
Oh.
Mine
Yep.
made 5, and I'm like, what are you supposed to do with 5 megabytes, Windows 10?
What are you-
Honestly,
Nothing.
the very day that I knew I was going to despise Windows 10 and whatever future iterations they made of Windows was the day that I went to do a simple shutdown on my new machine, and it said can't shut
Here we
down.
go.
Why can't you shut down, Windows 10? Shutting down
Update.
is preventing shutdown. I'm sorry,
Ah,
what?
yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah.
Yep.
Yeah.
mhm,
That's a
yep.
The
classic.
shutdown sequence is preventing you from shutting down. Explain that one, Windows 10, before I take a knife to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It is rough. It is rough.
So did I miss talking about the fish while I was flipping the burgers?
No, we have not discussed the fish.
We have not
Why would we
discussed
be
the fish,
discussing
okay.
fish?
Not discussed
Okay.
The-
Okay.
The only thing to discuss about Fish is that I'm very happy that Fish, the only person who could shatter Gura's record was Saba.
Was
Yes, it
Gura
turns
herself,
out
yes.
that the only person
Not
who
no
could
no
fight
no not
themselves was
Gura.
himself.
No.
Technically not Gura. 25%
Well, look,
different.
it's Gura and legally distinct, not Gura.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Which actually,
Gura and,
Sign pointed this out to me, and then I went back and found it myself because I don't trust Sign on anything.
Oh, fuck you.
No, very wise.
Acting like he hasn't set a
Dicks.
precedent, this man.
True.
Dicks.
Where is it? I posted it.
Sign, just because you do good work doesn't mean we trust you.
True.
Oh,
You also didn't deny it.
True.
no. I can't.
Oh yeah,
I have
Saba
been known
in a
to troll
jar.
a time or two.
Thank you, Saba.
Wait, Saba shared the Saba
already-
in a jar?
Already started that, huh?
Yes. She already retweeted some of the jar art.
Oh dear.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's on speed for her.
Yeah, here we go. So, my mic is
That is
quiet?
entirely on brand.
Oh shit, yeah, you're
Yes.
right. My
You're a
mic
lot
is
louder now.
quiet.
Oh yeah.
How about now? Is that better?
Yes.
Yes, actually.
Okay, so that wow.
Did we
Uh,
acquire a Gura clone in here?
No. What
Please
is
tell me that's not
fucking
what they
with my
will.
mic?
it's not what
Something's
knows,
they
somebody
play on
fucking
the wheel,
with
right?
my mic.
Sorry, what's up?
I'm just really hoping we're not starting off with Tanya for the stream, because that's what the wheel is currently sitting on.
Oh
Ah!
no.
Obviously, we should
Oh!
go to Royal Road to find only the finest, most premium Tanya
Oh.
fiction.
Uh-oh, Roy. Okay.
Ruh-roh, Rig.
A computer does
It's
not
September 24th.
appreciate me being.
And he's
Uh-oh.
gone.
Oh, it
Oh,
cut
no.
off. It does
I
not
think
appreciate him.
maybe the current cooler setup doesn't like him streaming, possibly?
No, it does not. I warned him
Series
not to.
again. Still series might
that
have broken
was
again. I don't know.
the fact that he just went immediately silent after saying something was kind of funny.
I just like that it went silent mid.
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
Sneaky got.
The feds finally got
Well,
him.
Sneaky's been placed in the jar, ladies and gentlemen.
That is a cursed statement.
Oh,
Please never say that again.
Yeah, seconded.
I have no idea why you would find that statement objectionable.
Because we were just talking about Gura and her, Saba and her jar.
I mean, it's just a jar. I'm not sure what your problem is there, Sign. So you know what? Why don't you tell us what are the latest stats for my abomination of an idea? My
Number
diseased
24,
brainchild.
rated number 24, and let me pull up the dashboard here. It's actually doing better than it was like a week or so ago. Even
Very good.
well, that's the thing. On the numbers here, it's doing better. But I had one asshole who voted 4 stars instead of 5. So it bumped it from 19 to 27, and then 3 more 5-star perfect reviews did not bump it back up above that. Yeah,
some
the
people.
system is retarded.
Yeah, no, that should have bumped it back up. Like the one, I would say the one guy
Should've
giving it
bumped it
a
above that.
4-star is an asshole. It's like, okay, he clearly did not find your story to be that amazing.
No.
Okay, hang on. No.
on
I want to
Royal
point
Road
out that part
knows.
of that is a problem with like the culture that we're in.
Yeah. I won't deny. Like
4 out
everyone
of 5. No, I know. I'm just saying, like 4 out of 5 stars is fan-fucking-tastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but Royal Road counts 4 out of 5 stars as -1 star.
Yes.
5 of 5 is 1. 4 out of 5 is -1, etc. and so forth. He's the same guy who said this shit right here in his review.
See the one that gave you like that rather large but if fair review?
Yes. It was, on the whole, it was alright. But it's still, his first point here is fucking retarded.
I don't remember enough to really care. I just remember, like, that's actually a relatively tame review out of all the other reviews you've gotten.
Yeah, it's kind of tame. The problem is Royal Road's counting system.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I wish this guy would stop bugging me about a commission.
What's going on?
He wants me to do a spin-off of something I've already done, and A, I don't have time, which I've explained to him. B, it's not really all that appealing, especially compared to what I've got on my plate already. And it would be a massive fucking undertaking that I don't think he's not going to fund it. He's going to drop 1 or 2 chapters and then go, okay, I'll wait for everybody else to pitch in now, like a few of them have done.
One of those. Listen. I had an idea, and I committed to that idea.
Yeah, oh yeah, sure, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
No,
but
that wasn't like a, oh, look at me. That was just like a, listen. If you put all that time and effort into something with somebody, you gotta be prepared to pay the piper.
Pretty much. And I'm pretty much the cheapest on doing comms right now. Everybody's prices are going up. Cambrian raised his prices from $3 to $5.
Woo.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's SteelSeries management engine manages everything, and it fucks up every fucking time.
How does that keep fucking up? I mean,
Because it's so shittily programmed. Okay, there we go. Now I'm not quiet
Bluetooth.
anymore. Now I can
Nope.
actually turn my fucking mic down back to the normal fucking volume that I have it set at in OBS without blowing everyone's goddamn eardrums out. Like, the second you said my mic was quiet, I was like, oh, god damn it.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, SteelSeries, in their infinite wisdom, decided to move to a software-based solution for their hardware. And in doing so, they created the height of HP bloatware, essentially.
This is so fucking ass.
99% of the time.
Yeah,
It is
it's
garbage.
so ass.
People tell them it is garbage, but because there are more people sucking their dick than telling them it's bad, they keep making it worse and keep adding useless fucking features that just make it harder for the firmware to run.
Like, for some
Yeah.
fuck all reason, there's game recording stuff in here. Why do I need game recording stuff in my fucking audio software?
Oh,
So you can show-
my favorite, my personal favorite, the 3D aim trainer built into it.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a 3D aim
You said
trainer.
Aimbot? An aimbot.
No, aim trainer.
What's an aim trainer?
Sign, it teaches you
Exactly
how
what
to
it
shoot
sounds
good.
Like.
Exactly what it sounds like.
It,
Sign, are
name.
you tired of sucking at Counter-Strike? I mean,
I don't like
the answer is
Counter-Strike, but
yes,
okay.
because you're not a Russian with no life, but
Fair.
True.
perhaps
Why
more
did they
relevant to the
just
kids
add-
today.
Oh my god.
What?
They've
Right,
added a
so sign.
create montage button
Yep.
Oh
to
my
go
god.
with fucking game
So-
recording.
Yep.
So sign,
Why?
yeah.
Yep.
What this does is it does a bunch of different flick shots, basically. It's going to teach you how to twitch like a 15-year-old kid on speed. So you can hit those 6
on
shots
Arrow.
for your montage.
That's
Yes. Yes.
yes, I suppose that is in fact a way of getting good, but it feels to me like it was not the intended way of getting good.
Yes. Well, anyway, so speaking of non-intended things, so I recently learned unfortunate information. Unfortunate information involving one of my favorite games of my childhood, which is World of Warcraft.
Uh-oh.
So
I'm
bad.
sorry.
And
Oh,
apparently,
trailer.
Have you seen the cutscene currently?
I've
making
seen the
rounds?
cutscene. Yes,
We've all seen it.
I've seen the cutscene making the rounds. Well, yeah.
Ugh.
So, when Chris Metzen left, he was the sole. So it was him and Denuser who were making the lore big shot calls for the story and the story beats and all of that fun stuff, right?
Yeah,
The problem
essentially
is
the reason that it was solid and consistent up to a certain point.
yes, the problem is that Chris Metzen had that job because he's Chris fucking Metzen. Denuser had that job because he was at the company for a really long time and he managed to gain somewhat of like effectively a clique following inside the company. So, he was in a position that could countermand, but not override, just countermand, Metzen for lore decisions and plot steps and going forward stuff, right? So Metzen would be like, I think we should do this next, and Denuser can be like, no. And not offer any solution. Just no.
Just no, fuck off.
Yeah. So that's why Chris Metzen ended up leaving, because Denuser kept denying everything. And Metzen was getting fed up. And upper management was telling him to go suck a dick. And so he left. And then and then Denuser had control for a while. And that's how we ended up with Sylvanas Waifu. And him him writing himself into the game.
No.
What's wrong with
Sylvanas a
Sylvanas'
very
waifu?
terrible person?
Sylvanas is a
Oh, she
terrible
is?
person. She was always a
was-
terrible person. She's not pretty. She's not attractive. Her
No,
personality
I
has
don't,
always
listen,
been
I
ass.
don't care about that. Like, listen, the pretty attractiveness, whatever. She's an elf. There's a certain base level of attractive. Sure, fine, whatever. She's a terrible person. She
Yes.
is an objectively awful human being.
You cannot
elf,
fix
but-
her.
You cannot fix her. Okay.
You cannot fix her. No. She is effectively a D&D revenant in that she basically has a life mission that she refused to die for.
Oh, the undead. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, she's like kind of hyper focused on it. She does a whole bunch of terrible stuff. She was being set up to be a villain, and then Denuser, his pee-pee got hard when he looked at Sylvanas. And so he wrote himself into the story as Sylvanas' secret lover. And, well, it's one-sided lover. Sylvanas didn't care about him, but, you know. But anyway, so point being is that he ran Sylvanas around as the next Mary Sue. Yes, her. He ran Sylvanas, yes. Kind of hot, but also at the same time, if you know everything that's going on about her, not at all.
If he was hot.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's also dead, so she's a corpse.
Yes, there's the dead part.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
want to be
problem,
clear.
though.
Very dead. Exceptionally dead.
Yes, her being undead. Undead hate all living beings. So yeah,
Yes.
you really can't fix her.
But anyway, so point being is, so we had a decent plot for a little bit while Denuser was taking over, but as the expansions went on, he really swung it in a Sylvanas is the bestest, coolestest person ever. Look at this, she soloed the Lich King, and a whole bunch of other really dumb crap. Denuser got its ousted with one of the worst expansions, Denuser gets ousted, right? And then apparently, this had been building up in the background as well, on top of all this, with the, you know, the Blizzard race calculator and all that fun stuff. Once the monarchy of lore was ousted, it became a People's Democratic Republic. And so that's why the lore in later expansions became so fucking scattered and everywhere and not making any sense. And why is this entire zone dedicated to large muscle mommies carrying you around like a baby?
Too many.
I wish I was joking about that one!
He's not.
Wait, you're. Oh dear.
He's
Yeah,
not.
no, so basically, for whatever reason, they were like, hey, afterlife, in the afterlife, there's angels. Okay, cool. Angels, what do? They're paladins, actually. All right, fine. What are they? Mostly female. Okay.
That's Falcon.
Very highly muscled and exposed muscle. All right. They're also giants. Oh, okay. And every time you complete a quest, they'll carry you like a baby to the next quest. For the entire
this is
zone.
Someone's fetish.
Yes,
See-
of course.
See,
Not even barely hidden fetish. Just straight up author's fetish.
See, this is why I like Final Fantasy XIV. Because,
Everything's a fetish?
I mean,
Yes.
yes. But here's the thing, right? When they put a fetish in there, they're like, listen, we're going to make sure everybody gets their slice of cake. Because, right, we had God damn, I'm trying to remember what the expansion was. It's the one where none of it will mean anything. Look, point is, they're like, here are the two new races. And you know what the two races were?
Isn't it lizards
The
and
first
furries?
race was Bunny Girl.
Yeah, that's
the
what it
first
was.
race
And
was
Lion
Bunny
Boys.
Girl.
Yeah,
Good.
Lion Boys and Bunny Girls.
And
yeah.
Lion Boys.
Yep, I remember that, yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, here you go. Okay? Listen. for all the
And then
horny
every
boys,
demanded
we
the
have
opposite
bunny
sex,
women.
so then we got bunny boys and lion girls.
And Lion Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
but guess what? Everybody got their slice of cake because they're like they were like, okay, we're gonna aim for the lowest common denominator here. We're gonna give the guys and girls bunny girls, and we're gonna give the guys and the girls lion-o. We're gonna tap into that Thundercats market.
Yeah, but so anyway, yeah, when Gray and I were first playing it, and I guess Atin was there too occasionally, we kind of just like we got into the zone and we're like,
Oh no! I want to be clear. I pulled the emergency ripcord on WoW so long ago.
Oh, yeah.
I learned about WoW vicariously through these
Fair.
guys going, why am I flagellating myself like this?
Yeah, look, like, I came back for the end of Legion, it was fun, the start of BFA was great, and then, you know, they called the expansion Battle for Azeroth, and then you did everything but Battle for Azeroth in the Battle for Azeroth expansion. So, yeah, I stopped playing that one. And then they're like, Shadowlands. I'm like, okay, well, I don't really know if I'm going to play it. And they're like, okay, so Shadowlands is going to be the afterlife. I'm like, fuck. We're writing a story about that. I kind of have to play it. Fine. And then I played it for the first patch, and then I was like, damn, this shit's gay. And then I stopped playing it. Because the other zone was where a bunch of femboy twink vampires suck your rage out of you.
That's
Yeah.
cringe.
Yeah, it's a little bit cringe. They also torture you to teach you humility in a dungeon with chains and whips.
That's not suspicious in the slightest.
I have returned.
And also had a bunch of little midget goblins running around speaking like ghetto.
Whatever happened to the good old days of no take candle, huh? Whatever happened to those days?
Yeah. Well, you see, all the people that became in control of the game were racists, and they decided that kobolds are black people, which is why they're replacing them with small, hunchback, big-lipped, idiotic creatures that speak in a vernacular very similar to an African-American accent.
Really?
Yeah.
Kobolds? You picked kobold?
I thought orcs were always considered the
Everything's black people, don't you know? Every negative depiction is black people. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So we got the Shadowlands, and that was a fucking shit fest. And then Dragon, whatever the fuck, I don't give a shit, came out, and that's where the real People's Republic kicked in, and that's why no lore happened in that one, because it was literally just the author's fetish again. You know, they put twink dragon people in them, twink scalies. They weren't even dragons. I'm not gonna call them dragons. They were twink scalies. Okay. We didn't even get the buff dragons. They were just fucking twinks. I thought kobolds were furries or scalies. Well, no, that is in D&D. In World of Warcraft, which is legally distinct from D&D, kobolds are hunchbacked, goateed, low IQ, goblinoid-like creatures.
Yeah.
What in the actual fuck am I looking at?
Don't worry about it.
Is this it? Because I hope not.
Yes, that is in fact a kobold.
Yes, that is what they are.
That is an abomination.
Yes, but it is legally distinct. which is the important part.
Yeah. Listen, you gotta understand, everything in the entertainment industry is driven by profit. The entire reason that people are mad about Age of Sigmar is because they killed an entire game, Warhammer Fantasy, because they couldn't sue people for using elves and dwarves.
Yeah.
Because now they're not called elves or high elves or dwarves. They're elves. A-E-L-V-S, and that's legally distinct, don't you know? Even though they're identical to an elf in every other way. And they're not dwarves, they're Duradin. Now, they did... I will give Age of Sigmar this. It did give us steampunk dwarf pirates, which I'm very on board with. It did give us steampunk dwarf pirates. So, they got one thing right.
And, like, everything else wrong. But, yeah, so effectively that's why, is that everyone in the office would vote on what lore they wanted to introduce to the story, and what characters they wanted to come in, and what plot beats. Which is why it went fucking nowhere and got nothing done, and just turned into a giant sexual fetish for the makers of the game.
Yeah.
Because, you know, People's Democratic Republics always work. But, yeah, so now they brought Metzen back in, and now he's basically having to fight the PDR.
Yeah.
To actually get everything back on track, which is why the previous expansion was such dog shit still. Because now we have underground black people, which makes no fucking sense, because they were like, they literally was a nation, it was a Wakanda-like nation underground for thousands of years. Which makes no fucking sense, but...
Yeah.
Sure. And now the greatest archmage in existence, despite every mage in WoW showing they can fucking fly, this archmage uses his immense magical powers to conjure an arcane wheelchair that requires rolling on the ground. Yeah.
I that shit just reminds me of what was that
Yeah.
one thing? Was either you saying that or someone in the comments about how that clip of the one lady with a prosthetic shield and it made her special or some shit.
Yes, that's the lady I'm talking about, yeah. Yeah, just to be clear, this lady who replaced her missing arm with a prosthetic great shield, has the ability to magically, perfectly regrow her arm.
And just decides not to?
With no side effects, yeah. No side effects. Basically takes like 1 or 2 spells to do it. No downsides. Happens effectively instantly. She just doesn't want to. Because that would make her less special.
I see.
I'm not even kidding about that. She actually has a whole paragraph she vomits at you at one point in the story, where she explains how she's defined by her disability, and that's why she won't regrow her arm. Because she wouldn't be who she is if she had 2 arms that worked.
I see, sure, whatever.
Is he doing it because he doesn't give a fuck anymore? Man, I fucking wish. God, I wish. Like, I'm not even mad about the wheelchair part. Like, if they had made it like some sort of floating arcane-y bullshit that they do with everything arcane up until about 3 expansions ago, I would have been like, cool, whatever, neat. Does he have like a laser mount on it or something too? That'd be cool. You know, fucking like pushes a button, lasers come out. Pew, pew. But no, they just straight. Also, they have the bad guy. Fucking, you guys saw it in the clip. She's wearing half moon glasses, and she's a Karen.
Love it.
Also, I'm a terrorist. I'm gonna kill you all. Yes, but you see, if we kill you, then you win. So we're just gonna make a really pithy speech about forever banishing you because we're on the right side of history. I'll be back, and I'll kill you all. Okay, you can walk away now.
That's just turbo cringe.
I'm fucking...
I can't help but think that just seems like a very bad idea.
The ending of the Twink expansion was the worst. I honestly think the Twink expansion's ending was worse than this clip. This clip was just a succinct moment. Like, if you took in, like, the ending is a little bit longer, so it's not as neat in terribleness as that clip was that's going around right now. But the ending of the Twink expansion was, the bad guy is angry because he was locked up for being angry and wanting to kill everyone. So his plan is to kill everyone. And some of the guys who want the Horde and Alliance to not rule everyone anymore are like, we should team up with you. And he's like, okay, cool. Thanks for helping me make this weapon to kill everyone. I'm now going to kill you. Oh my god, I can't believe you're betraying us. And then the heroes...
but inevitable betrayal!
Yeah, and then the heroes show up, but too late to stop him multiple times. Because, like, they kind of just stand there and monologue at him, and he goes, talking's not a free action, and leaves.
I was
Oh,
kind of
nice.
hoping he would say talking's not a free action and, you know, murderize them.
And they literally had an Avengers Endgame moment where every single hero unit in the game showed up to stand on this cliff and stare down at the bad guy, and while Thrall monologued at him about how he was a bad guy and they were the good guys.
You
seems
shoot?
unless I missed some stuff with my boy Thrall, that seems wildly out of character. It is wildly out of character. And then to cap it off, the big finale was you finally beat the bad guy, and the bad guy's like, ha, I actually have a second, third power-up secretly. And then all of the hero units show up, and they all throw one attack at him, and he goes, ah, I've been defeated. And Thrall goes, yes, it was the power of friendship that defeated you. Because you see,
No,
we
it was
good
the power of
guys
magic.
have friends, and you are a bad guy and alone.
Wow, that's fucking dumb.
And then all of the dragons that lost their magic, because contrived reasons, got their magic back, for contrived reasons. And then one of the dragons that got their magic back goes, oh man, I guess the real power we had was the family we made along the way.
No, it wasn't! It was the ability to breathe fire!
It was literally magic.
Yeah. So, not exactly enthused by the current state of affairs with WoW. And honestly feels like World of Warcraft has turned into fan fiction at this point. Modern WoW's literally a parody. It's yes, it is literally fan fiction. It's an unintentional parody. It's a literal fan fiction of World of Warcraft. It's a really killing my ability to fucking write Undying Scarab, I'm gonna be real. It
Yeah.
is really hard to look up lore and then get current lore blurbs and then I see what the fuck's currently happening in WoW and I'm like, wow. I kind of don't want to write anymore.
That was a big part of why I'm not doing the Ruby thing anymore.
Yeah, no, I mean, exactly, yeah. It's just like, damn. It's really hard to write for this section because I just hate where it went so much. To be fair,
You
I'm
could
reading a
always
book.
ignore everything that came out after whatever release.
Oh, no, we absolutely are, but it's just like... So here's the thing, right? We started this story back when I was playing the game every day. And I was talking to Gray every day because he was playing the game every day. And we were playing together every day. So we were talking about WoW, playing WoW together. And then we stopped playing WoW, but we still were writing the story because we were still talking every day. And then Gray... And then I had to go get a job. And then Gray had to go get a job. And then Gray decided to do some really stupid things with how he handled that job. And I'm not talking about what he did, I'm talking about the time frames he did, because basically whenever I came home from work, he would be going to sleep. Which makes it really hard to talk to him about the story if he's fucking sleeping when I'm available.
Night shifts do be like that.
Except he wasn't doing a night shift, he was just going to work at 12 a.m. because he could.
Oh, he's just being retarded.
Yes. And I complained to him about this, and he didn't change his behavior. So I kind of was just like, alright, well, whatever. Then I'll just get to the story whenever I fucking do. Which was never. Because, again, I'm not talking to the person that I started the story with anymore. I'm not playing the game the story's about. And then whenever I go to look up the lore fucking sucks.
You're just like, wow, I hate this.
So, yeah, I just had no motivation to keep writing the story. I had a chess
fair.
grandmaster of the World War II challenge like 30 people at once to pretend to forget his glasses, so he stood in one spot and played every game from memory. And when there was one snare that surprised him, he put his glasses on and took a look. But Sneaky, the bad guy, didn't do nothing. True. To be fair, I'm reading a book about a guy who was born blind due to a generational curse. Fair enough. His parents found someone who can break it, but he gets mad over it. He finds a blinding potion and re-blinds himself. So when the girl breaks the curse, he will still be blind. His reasoning is similar to the armless woman, mixed wanting to get back at his controlling parents. Ah, yes, how dare my parents cure me of my disabilities and blindness! How dare they give me self-autonomy and the ability to live my life without help from others! How dare they!
Well, that's that crowd that
Yeah, and I personally
well,
think
they
every
want
single one of them should be
ability.
beat to death with a fucking hammer. But hey ho,
be
here we
blinded.
are.
Those I would do a lot of things to fix my actual literal disability.
Look, I'm just glad I've never met a single one of them in real life, because I would definitely be going to jail for murder.
When I was writing the Toph thing for Zuko, do you have any idea how many people I had telling me, "Don't cure her, she's perfect the way she is. Let her
Oh
be
yeah, I know.
blind."
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, it's funny because I'm pretty sure there was an episode where Toph talked about like it'd be great to see,
Yes.
but I made my peace with it a
Yes.
long time ago.
Toph explicitly
I'm-
said that one of her biggest frustrations and regrets in life is knowing that she'll never be able to cure her blindness because she wants to be able to see what she looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, just
Some people
imagining how much
morons.
more dangerous Toph would be with sight. It's like
The
all right,
answer
good
is a
news.
lot.
I know because
The
now it's like,
answer
all
is
right, well, theoretically, you guys could, do certain things to hide from her because of how her senses work. But remove that now, it's like, oh great, we're about to find out that Toph is also the world's best sniper in Earthbender form too. Awesome.
To be
Oh, I'm
fair, the
sure.
problem sprouted from the green magic fire plot device of ultra healing. Yes, and I did lambast sign over that quite a bit. So we're not going to revisit that right now, but the people who champion disabilities, like I get it.
There's a big difference between people
Someone who's disabled
advocate
doesn't.
for improving disability stuff, right?
Yeah, sure.
Like
yeah.
the people who talk, right? The companies that make controllers specifically for people with things like cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. Do that. But don't sit there and try to tell me
Right.
that if we could just magically cure it tomorrow, no downsides, we shouldn't.
Yeah. It's also it's very disgusting is what it is, because I mean, if you're blind and you've been blind your whole life, you're pretty much 100% dependent on everyone around you.
There's a lot that can be done, but
well, I mean,
there's
it's
only-
like it's you're pretty much guaranteed to be 100% dependent. It's like, oh, but they can get up and they can go brush their teeth. Yes, they can get up and go brush their teeth because they've walked the hallway 100 times and because they know where the toothbrush is because they place it in the exact same location every day. But you know how that toothbrush got there in the first place? Someone with eyes had to put it there for them.
yeah, or they
You
had
know
to
how their
figure out to
dishes
put it there.
Right, but that's what I'm saying though, is like, how did they get to the apartment? Someone had to drive them there. Like they didn't build this apartment themselves, you know. They didn't go and register it. Maybe they registered it themselves, but someone had to buy the computer, set the computer up for them. Like there is multiple stages. Yes, they can use the tools eventually, but someone had to set all that shit up for them.
So, as someone who has worked specifically on this, I can tell you there is an entire government agency dedicated.
Oh, I'm aware there is. I'm just saying, the fact is that they're not independent.
Oh no. They have some degree of independence, but they're not.
Well, sure, and a child in a playpen has some degree of independence.
Has some degree, exactly.
But the child didn't put itself in the playpen.
No. But well, morons.
Yeah.
But so it's just a massive dick move to. It's one thing to have assistance. It's another thing to expect it.
Yes.
And if you are refusing to get, like, if you lost your legs, either from birth or from, you know, an explosion happened or a car ran them over or something, that your legs were just perma-fucked, and then they came around, you know, tomorrow they announce bionic legs, and they're like basically near human tier legs, and they work perfectly, and they're not super hyper expensive, and you can do it totally within your price range. You can go in, get your surgery done to get the legs fully chopped off, and replaced with the bionic legs. and you don't do it
Son of a
because
tomorrow.
yeah, but you don't do it because well then you wouldn't be who you are without your legs missing. It's like, okay, I think if you make that decision, all support should be cut off for you.
Yes, that's someone who is enjoying, not just enjoying being miserable.
They're
but is
enjoying
taking
being catered to.
advantage of being catered to because of their disability. Yes,
Exactly. Yeah.
they're taking advantage of the system.
Yeah, and they
Yeah,
can
They
go
like
get
the
fucked.
attention.
Yeah, and to anybody who's about to come in and try to make that, there is nothing equivalent to what we are talking about in real life currently.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
very
Actually, there is.
No,
There is.
Not really.
no,
Well,
Stein. No.
no. Listen. Hang on. The what's that
Let him
fucking
hang the
implant
news.
that lets you? What's that fucking implant that lets you hear? You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. No. So no, that's
Stein. I was speaking specifically
that's
about legs.
Right.
um.
We were talking about legs. I am aware there are people that refuse to get a cochlear implant that could otherwise hear.
And that's
if they were
it.
to pay.
It's also
sense back.
right, but it's also not 100% of deafness cases are because of the cochlear implant. Like
Oh,
yeah,
no, yeah,
whatever the
absolutely.
cochlear
But
implant.
enough are,
Yes. Yeah.
and there are enough people who could but
Yeah.
refuse to because this would change who I am.
Yes. Well, I mean, you also it's not just that. It's not just a personal selfish reason. There is also a massive stigma in the deaf community to become
Oh,
undeaf.
yes, absolutely. Oh, they hate it.
So basically, you lose all your friends if you do that, which is obviously massive social pressure, which works on 90% of humans.
Yeah,
So,
I'm just saying, there's a reason that things like the Church of Latter-day Saints have so many people in them, because it's a cult.
well, yeah.
And
so it's
they
basically deaf
do,
community.
they do a very good job of making that your life.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Gotta go
yeah,
get burgers.
it's a whole messed up thing. But yeah, it's very frustrating to hear. It's frustrating to hear disabled people pull that shit. It's even more frustrating when perfectly normal people who have nothing wrong with them are going around supporting that shit and saying that shit like, oh no, you can't cure disabilities. They're perfect where they are. They're not disabled. They're differently abled.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I'm about to
Didn't you
make you
hear-
disabled.
No, hang on. Didn't you hear about the TARDs? There's been more than one case, but I remember one.
Sign, you're not
specific
allowed
one.
to say that word on Twitch.
No, I'm pretty sure
What?
retard's fine on Twitch.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
We've said it plenty of
I
times.
thought
I
it
mean,
made the naughty list.
Asmongold says it all the fucking time, and they were looking for reasons to get rid of him.
Oh, never mind then.
So this woman, who was so into the blind and deaf community, she
She poured
identified
bleach
so
on herself.
strongly as
Yeah.
being blind, she bleached her fucking eyes.
Yep, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, it's zombies. It's human-shaped zombies at this point.
Well,
They're
I
not real
mean,
people.
yes, but they wanted to join the cult. That's
it.
what it was. Is they wanted to join the cult. They saw there was a community around being blind, and they were basically, well, I mean, in that case, that person was a femcel, and honestly, if you're a femcel, that's a you issue. That's a, everywhere you go smells like shit. The shit might be on your shoe. If you're a woman and you can't get a fucking guy, that's cope. But yes, I mean it's the perfectly normal people are what genuinely piss me off. Like I'll get fucking raging mad at the disabled people who are like, oh, God put me here to be blind. I'll get fucking pissed off at you. But what I would do to someone who was with 2 working arms, 2 working legs, working organs, working eyes, all that fun junk, and they look at me in the face and say that disabled people aren't disabled, they're differently abled, I would make them join the disabled community. That's what I would do to them. We'll see what their opinion is after they join the disabled community permanently.
Yeah.
This gets rid of a particular conundrum that's been on my mind. What do you do if you get to work early and it's like, but some retarded lawyer later on? Can you get away with saying the new lore is retarded? I'm gonna ignore that.
Absolutely.
I think it's perfectly within. I think it really depends, right? I think, if you like the first half of a singular book, and the latter half of the book had some really retarded lore, I think that's different from like, they beat the big bad in a really stupid way. I think is different from I don't like how this world is set up in the latter half of the book. I think at the point of if you get halfway into the book and you're like, I don't like how the world is set up now. I don't like this direction of the world being set up this way. I would say just put the book down and stop reading the story. But if you're like, if you read a whole book, you love it, it was great lore. You read the second book, you love it, it was great lore. You read the third book, and you're like, what the fuck is this lore? What the hell's going on? I don't understand anything anymore. Why are they retconning these things? Yeah, 100% you can just say, yeah, fuck that shit. We're just going to ignore book 3. I think it more depends on how much time you've spent in the scenario. Because I mean, yeah, if you're at book 1 and they're going stupid places, I would just put the book down.
Yeah.
The catch is you need to wait an hour in the doctor's waiting room. Yeah, true.
But yeah, the other thing I was gonna say was right. I was actually reading a fan fiction. I was surprised when I saw the initial pitch. I was like, that sounds quite stupid.
Yeah.
Because it's John Wick and Mass Effect.
Oh yeah,
I think I
yeah,
read
that
that
one.
thread.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
And my first thought was like, this could go quite poorly, quite quickly. But they kept John Wick mostly to be John Wick.
Right.
They made him a slightly happier individual,
Sure.
slightly less depressed. Part of the reason that happened is because they were like, yeah, we're going specifically off of John Wick 2. Because I wrote this before all the really weird shit came out, and I'm not going to change it.
Sure, yeah.
Understandable.
But this was something I actually was hoping we could bring up. The most important thing that the author does there is they end the story in the correct spot. Because that story ends in Mass Effect 2. John Wick comes up when Shepard's dead. No, he shows up when Shepard's dead. He's there for the revival of Shepard. He helps with some stuff. And they decide that right at the end of the book, I almost said movie, right? Shepard saves his new hot Asari wife. So he's like, I'm going to give him a marker. And Shepard, being Shepard, is like, fuck this shit. I am not taking this. Immediately cancels it and says, I am doing a job. You know what I'm doing. I expect you to show up without some arcane bullshit. And John Wick is like, yeah, all right, fair. I'm gonna spend the next 6 months with my hot wife in our house. Call me when the Reapers are here. Bye, babe.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's a
Fair enough,
John Wick
yeah.
thing.
But like I said, it ends at the correct spot.
Sure, yeah.
Right? The author's like, this is I have told the story I want. I've changed stuff in Mass Effect 2, but he largely stayed away from the events of canon. Right? John Wick wasn't palling around on Shepard's ship or anything. But like I said, the important thing was he ended it at the right point. Because, okay, Mass Effect 3 is probably going to go largely the same, except now John Wick is there to murder some motherfuckers and make some Reapers very sad. We don't need more. We didn't get more, and we didn't need more. They told the story they wanted to tell, and then they stopped. which is an act of restraint that seems vanishingly rare on the internet.
True.
I think it's an issue. I mean, I don't know what came first, chicken or the egg scenario right here. I mean, like I said before, people who wrote fan fiction in 2005 are now writing the original stories that we're seeing on Netflix. So, I don't know, maybe it was fan fiction that brought this about first. Is that fan fiction doesn't really know where to stop because of two reasons. Reason number one, as amateur author, they don't really know what a story end is, and reason number two is the reason why fan fiction even started in the first place is because you wanted more content for the thing you liked.
Yeah.
So obviously you're gonna have a trouble time stopping it because obviously you want to know what happens next, and it's like, well, I don't need to try and find out what happens next. I'm writing it. I can just write more.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely issues inherent in fan fiction that causes the inability to stop when you should to be prevalent.
And that's true, but I think a lot more of it has to do with the worm problem of not knowing where you're going with your story.
Oh, 100%. I mean,
True.
obviously, again, that comes down to amateur author. That comes down to a lot of people writing the story off of a cool idea and then not really being familiar enough with the entire series to accurately predict the butterfly effects that will happen downstream. Now, like Undying Scarab. We didn't plan that shit at all.
Yeah.
We took it chapter by chapter, effectively. But Gray and I were so familiar with the lore of World of Warcraft that we didn't need to think about it. We knew effectively the broad strokes 100%, but like the more nitty-grittier details, we knew like maybe 80% of the lore, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't need to really plan it because we knew if she was going to do this, then this was going to happen. And then so if this is what's happening right now, when these events come around, this is probably going to happen, that's probably going to happen, this is probably going to happen, these things are going to happen in reaction to that. And so while we didn't plan it, we had enough knowledge that we just knew ahead of time what was going to occur. But again, Gray and I are not your average fanfic writer, and we're also not retarded in that specific way.
Right? Because
Challenge impossible.
God save me for uttering this statement, but one of the things that made me comfortable giving Sign my money to write a shit post, essentially a glorified shit post, very well written shit post, but essentially a giant shit post of what if we gave Tanya emotions, right?
True.
Sign was excited for the idea, but he came to me when I sent him the money, and before he agreed to write this, right, and take my money, he's like, where is this gonna go? What's gonna happen? Because he needed to be sure that he could write the story.
Right.
Yeah. Do not want to go in blind.
I mean, yeah, and I'm sure Sign gets 101 fucking DMs every day about retards saying, like, hey, I want you to write this story, except they have this power. It's like, okay, well, what do you want me to do with it? What do you mean? What do you want me to do with it? Like, okay, she has this power,
Not
then
that
what?
many, but I've gotten them.
Yeah, I know. I was
Why are we giving them
exaggerating
vast
for
cosmic
story.
power?
Well, it's not even always vast cosmic power. Usually it's like just retarded shit. Like, oh, but what if she had Sith powers? What if she had what if she was born Mandalorian and grew up in the Mandalorian? It's like, okay.
Okay, where do you want to go from there?
And then what?
You're the author, you figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
I had one motherfucker basically want me to write a book for Don Machi for him. I'm like, no. The research alone was looking like months worth of work. He wanted me to download and play some gacha game that had
Yep.
Oh
really
yeah, no.
bad.
Yeah,
Don
Don
Machi-
Machi is terrible. Oh my god, it's so fucking bad. I
That's-
hate it so much.
For research or just in general?
Oh, just in general.
Research.
Oh, that's a shame. I actually like a decent underdog story, and that's what that was up to a point. Yeah, no, the reason he was saying he had to get the gotcha game is because
Fucking embedded
several
lore, key lore.
several of yes, the gotcha game had several bits of events that were actually like mainline lore that were never going to be covered in the books.
Some
Yeah.
of them did get adapted to books much later on, though, but they were
Like
weren't
the
really
actual the writer, they got the writer for probably 90% of the 90% of the events.
Nothing
And
else,
it was
mind you,
like,
but
this
for
is-
the
this
events.
is well, because the main story just followed the light novel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was literally just a retelling of it. That's it. But yeah, like
I-
they did, I think, adapt some of the like the important like canon events to novel, but that was like I think at least several years after the
That
event
was
played out.
probably after the fucking riot they had on their hands.
No, the some of the I know some of the lore definitely came out before that like shitty event that kind of pissed off a good hunk of the community. I don't know if they're ever gonna adapt that one.
Oh
or
yeah,
not,
that
but-
and also the fact that the author got so pissed off in Don Machi they included a fail state that pretty much kills every single fan fiction in the entire fandom.
Yeah, they retconned how Bell's power work, or I'd say somewhat retconned it because I don't think it was ever hard explained how it worked.
It was never hard explained until that moment, and then when they did
Yeah,
explain
he
it, they were
added-
like, "Wow, can we go back to it not being explained?"
Yeah, he added like he added a conditional to Bell's unique ability that kind of just ruined the skill itself.
What was
Oh,
the
I didn't.
conditional?
If he
Yeah,
falls out of love with ice, the skill goes away.
Yeah.
He loses
wait,
it permanently.
no.
Yep.
Oh, that's so
That would do it.
stupid.
Yep.
The conditional
condition
being
was-
as long as you have.
He
Oh,
has
I
to
hate
he
that.
has to continuously chase after ice, and if he gives up his pursuit, well, he basically has to give up the pursuit in general, like reaching that state to stand by her side because she was the heavy focus. He will lose that skill goes away.
But what if he succeeds? Would it then go away too?
Yep.
He would probably be at the point where he didn't need it.
So the thing is that the girl he's chasing in Don Machi Eyes
She's a badass,
is
yes.
not only like what is
She's
she
one of
like
the top
5
adventurers.
levels
She's
higher
level
than
6,
him?
I think, at this point. Yeah, but
Yeah. She's 5 levels
because-
higher than him from the start. She has like 8 years of experience on him. She's already pushing harder, than he is for a large period of the fucking canon.
Yeah.
And literally
Well,
he gets
for the
carried so
series
hard
canon.
by his skill.
Mhm.
But so by the time he actually makes it to Eyes, effectively he would be at the level he would need to be to save the world.
Yeah, I hate that because the skill literally being as long as he has a goal that he wants to attain, he just gets to level faster.
I think it was explicitly
That
just
was-
having like
Specifically
strong
Eyes.
emotions. That was the
That-
initial
that was a-
description, like just being determined, having like a strong feeling for something was the original description, which led him basically he was determined
and
he could win.
yeah, that's what made it such a nice, simple, straightforward ability for an underdog. Literally,
But
bro,
no-
as long as you don't lose sight of the goal, you're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, that kills literally any story that does not have Belle simping for Eyes the entire time. Well, congratulations, you got to go fight Leviathan on your
canon.
own. You don't have canon anymore to help you.
Yeah.
That's so.
Which I'm pretty sure
bad.
most people are just gonna look at that. That's stupid and not even acknowledge it. If they
I
As
mean,
do.
they should.
100% absolutely understandable, but still at the same time,
That do be how it is now.
yeah, that is technically the canon now.
Original author poisoned the well.
He was just ass mad people didn't like Ice. Because like a large portion of the community just wanted Belle to go
I'm
with the elf, Ryu.
I'm
'cause he at least
sorry.
reciprocated his feelings.
Okay, so the problem is that the author legitimately made several other heroines that were just better choices, including the
Yep.
elf.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was a
The show's-
classic Ranma Gambit scenario.
The show is even called How to Pick Up Chicks, and it's like he only
Yeah,
goes
it's like-
after one
it's-
girl.
it's
and
not-
then-
harem.
It's not how to pick up my perfect blonde German XP waifu in the dungeon.
Yeah, it's like
No, it's
Yeah,
how to
no.
pick up multiple women in the dungeon.
supposedly this is what I remember reading like on the wiki and just hearing on and off was supposedly it was just to have an encounter like like a romantic moment or something. That was the initial like title, but they changed it to Pick Up Chicks because that sounded more appealing or something.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Well, that's
Yeah.
just localizers
And then
being
you didn't
stupid if
pick up
that's the
chicks.
case.
Yeah, it's like
No, it wasn't just the localizers, Max. That was the publishing company, like the original publishing company.
Yep.
but yeah, author basically shat the bed of the story and just kind of like made it quite clear he's gonna simp for his character, and it's just like kind of just sour
Well,
the community
that-
to him.
Which
That's fine, but the character you're simping for is not the popular one.
Well, like
I'm
I
sorry,
said,
man.
Let
the,
me
the
get-
author
It
the author
happens.
did a Ranma Gambit.
doesn't Ice have literally have the emotional depth and development
Of a thimble.
5-year-old because of
Yes.
her amnesia? Like
I don't know
has
about
amnesia.
amnesia.
She has
She's just-
reasons.
Yeah,
she's got
I don't know about her reasons or anything. I don't know any Danmachi lore. Like I said, I fucking hate that shit so much. I get so
Ice
fucking
is
pissed off
just-
reading Danmachi sometimes.
She just has a low she's basically the what's the slang kuderi or whatever. That's just it. She just does not have a
Kuderi,
wide
yeah.
emotional spectrum. Like she can get real angry at specific things due to her
And real
past,
flustered.
but
well-
she's generally not very emotional.
Yes,
So
has
the,
the is
the
best.
problem, again, the problem here is that for kudereis, Ryu, the elf, is a better kudere.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think.
She returns
Ranma.
his
I'm
feelings.
telling you, Ranma. This is
Yeah.
a classic author failure.
Has
Father,
Ranma
you
got
were
a better
convinced she's
tsundere
best girl.
than the main
Oh,
character?
no.
But you're
So
convinced us she's best
no.
girl.
So effectively in Ranma, the main pairing is supposed to be Ranma and
And
Akane.
Akane.
And the author does a terrible job at making the audience like Akane because they constantly show off all these other characters who are in their own ways better than her, and that any chance that Akane ever gets to show off almost gets immediately negated by Akane's further behavior towards Ranma. And the author is
well-
obsessed with making that pairing work,
Yeah.
but the entire audience hates it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
It's
this
also
is a
her
little different though
self-insert.
because Aiz actually is a likable character and does not mistreat Belle, and they actually do have several moments that are
Sure,
really
yeah.
neat together. But it's not. really the
Unfortunately, they
romantic
still lose
material.
because
She gets
there's
outplayed by
literally
other
better
everyone else.
choices.
Yeah.
I actually caught up a little bit with the anime. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna scrub through this episode because this is some really cool shit happening, and we just straight up have the elf confesses in the middle of a fight,
Yep.
and then Seer confesses. Another goddess confesses. Hestia has confessed no less than a dozen times by this point because she's an honest little dork. Lily, I think, has had a confession at least once or twice.
I don't
I
recall if
think
she
so.
ever really did.
Yeah, she
confess.
did.
Oh, she did.
Every
Yeah, she did.
character that is clearly made for the harem
Mhm.
has at some point made a confession, whether Belle understood it or not.
Yep.
Aiz is the only one to make no such confession or concession
Yep.
or even taking a foot on the path of a romantic relationship with Belle.
Yep.
There's
At-
no
at-
problem.
Best, her feelings for him are as a friend and a comrade.
Oh my god. I mean, it's a fucking rent a girlfriend situation all over again.
Oh, listen,
No.
that made me so happy
What,
how
it
that
went to
series
shit?
ended.
That it
It's
went
still
to
going.
shit?
No,
it's
no,
not
no,
over
no.
yet.
No, I thought they did the ending where they just said, "Oh, I choose my rent-a-girlfriend
Pay you
career."
to-
No, it's
Oh,
still going,
no,
supposedly.
No,
It's
that's
still
not the
going.
ending.
Yeah, that wasn't the ending.
That was just the confession scene getting blown the fuck out.
I thought the ending was, I'm gonna date her now, but we'll pay you to watch us.
No, that's
No?
the meme that's being
No.
passed around.
No.
No, he's still gonna get strung along
Yeah.
because the author is just weird and obsessed with his own character.
Yeah, author's married, by the way.
Oh.
Author has a fetish.
Yes,
Yeah, apparently.
Possibly.
it has
Possibly.
been known for quite a while.
Belle only
given-
really gains her attention due to how fast he gains in strength. Yeah, pretty much, and she wants to know the reasoning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
she
that was the
wants to get
initial
power to
reason.
kill the dragon.
Yeah, that was the initial reason she agreed to train, and then it's like, oh, actually, this guy's kind of cool. He's not an asshole. But again, her feelings have not gotten any further than friend, comrade, and mentor to student.
But yeah, like Don Machi is a great example of another classic of I like the world. I hate pretty much all the characters in it. I hate how the world ends up being in terms of how things play out. It's really ass. Cause like if you go into Don Machi before Zeus and Hera get kicked out, then you're in basically like the Copper Age, or the Iron Age actually. You're in the Iron Age of culture, where the highest level adventurers just steal from shops because they can.
Of course.
Oh, good.
They're strong. Who's gonna stop them?
Exactly. And so if you have a character that shows up in that era and your character starts getting strong and isn't inside the Zeus or Hera families, you basically get suppressed cultivator style. And if you are in those families, you still get suppressed cultivator style. Except no one else will stand up for you. So you're in a real shit situation, and it makes it kind of railroads any sort of lore or a story you could put into it, and it makes for a really boring situation because either your character has to get super powerful super quickly so they can resist being suppressed, or you have to rely on narrative ass pulls to make your character not get their shit blown out of their face.
Also, you have to convince your patron deity, the leader of your familia, not to report that shit to literally all the other gods and goddesses because they want to brag.
Yeah.
Which isn't going to happen because they want to brag.
I mean, some of them are good-ish.
Hephaestus
Sorta.
would probably be on your side.
Sure.
She's probably one of the most chill gods.
They're
Sure,
like a
she'd be on your
50-50
side.
split.
Well,
there are
see,
some that aren't idiots.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like Hephaestus.
Obviously.
yeah,
Like most of
Hephaestus
the
is a
main
lovable idiot.
gods, most like the
Ganesha.
main gods, at least like even Loki, for all she might be a braggart, if you have something that's particularly dangerous or at the very least something that's kind of like might shake the boat a bit too much, she's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna keep quiet.
I mean, that's a 50-50, honestly. I can definitely see the arguments either way for her. She's definitely
like, if shit's all fine and dandy, she might brag, but Loki takes the protection of the city pretty seriously and balanced. Like, she's not gonna really go out of her way to shake the boat. Like, she
Right,
might
but that's
pick a fight with
before.
Estia. Oh, in the olden days, yeah.
That we're talking about in the old days before she was the strongest person around and was therefore able to
Okay, yeah,
brag.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I keep-
So, yeah, again, like I said, it's a really mixed situation. So it's like, okay, well, let's drop in during the Bell era then. Okay, if you drop in during the Bell era, you now have to make a story choice. Do we keep Bell around? If you do,
No.
do you make him just simp after eyes because that's how canonically he gets strong?
Of course.
Because here's the problem,
He
right?
just doesn't get
If
strong.
you don't make him simp after eyes, either you're ignoring the lore, which is fine, don't get me wrong, it's fine, but now you have to come up with a replacement. Now you have to come up with a replacement reason, replacement events, as to why Bell gets strong without just simping for eyes. You can even let him keep his LaFreeze skill, but you still now because this is no longer a following the route of canon where everyone can suspend their disbelief because this is already what happened. Everyone is now expecting you to do something. So if you come out and you're like, yes, we're going to go a different route, and then I'm not going to explain the route, and Bell's just going to show up being stronger, obviously everyone's going to be like, blow it out your ass. So now you're in a situation where you need to come up with original shit if you keep Bell around and you don't make him go the canon route. And if you're going after Hestia as well, that's going to be fucking problems, and then you have to come up with alternative shit, and it becomes such a fucking shit show if you try to involve Bell into your story. Doesn't he simp after Eyes because she saved him? Yes.
Yes.
Also, wait,
Now,
can't you safely
to be-
derail canon by accepting Bell into your familia when he was familia hunting? Yeah, and then everyone dies because Bell isn't simping after Eyes, because the only reason why Bell gets the ability to save the world is because he simped after Eyes. And the only reason why Bell simped after Eyes is because Eyes saved him when he started pushing too farther, and he had to get saved from the Minotaur. So,
Oh no,
yeah,
that was because of her familia. They caused that.
I'm
drove Minotaurs
aware.
up the Florida.
he still pushed farther than he should have been.
Fair.
No, no, he was
Yeah.
exactly where he was supposed to be.
Yeah.
No. He
Supposed-
went deeper a level than he said he would.
No, he didn't.
I thought he was like
No.
on the 3rd floor or 5th floor.
No.
Like
He
the
was
early floors.
he was only as far as he was supposed to be. He went deeper when he got that new skill from the initial meeting with Eyes.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
actually like, wait, hold
But
up.
until
how did
he
Okay.
you
got
level
that
up so
skill, he was
fast?
he was right where he was supposed to be. That's part of why Eyes was up there, because she's like, I let the Minotaur get away, and
Oh no,
oops.
I know about that. I thought I got the order of events out of order.
Yeah.
I
No,
thought
no.
he went deeper,
He goes too
which
far,
is why
yeah,
he
goes too
encountered the
far
Minotaur.
eventually. Yeah, he
Yeah.
does go far eventually. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you know, just another night where he shows up splattered in blood in front of his goddess. It's like, oh yeah, no,
Yep.
that's definitely not worrying behavior.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's not my blood.
But
Don't worry,
anyway,
it's only
so
partially mine.
Doesn't help.
yeah. Anyway, point being is that the Minotaurs had to get pushed up by the Loki family because of the events of the caravan going exactly as they did, and then because of that, the Minotaurs show up. Minotaur ambushes Bell. Eyes saves Bell. Bell sims after Eyes, gets the skill that gives him superpowers, and then the story goes from there, and he saves the day. Now, if you derail any of that, everyone dies according to canon. Like I said, you can obviously ignore that. But now you have to show how Bell gets stronger.
Yes.
Now, if you're putting a female character in, you've got some leeway.
Sure.
Because you can just have female characters save Bell for some reason.
I've seen it happen multiple times in Danmachi, and it's usually the reason
Yeah.
is that my character is going to show off taking care of the Minotaur, and then the Loki family is either going to show up after I kill the Minotaur or while I'm killing the Minotaur, and they can all go, "Wow, you're so
They can ooh
amazing
and
and
ah.
skilled, MC Kun."
Yeah.
Yeah, having Bell there, all Bell needs, I would just go with the original reason behind the skill, which is he needs a goal.
Sure.
So having him see someone do something insanely strong or monstrous in strength should theoretically be enough to trigger
Yeah,
that skill.
theoretically.
Oh yeah.
No,
Like I said,
because,
let's say the Minotaurs get up and for some reason Otar, the single level 7 or 8 in the entire city, just happens to be there. That would be enough Bell to be like, damn, I want to get that strong one day. That
Yeah,
could theoretically
but
trigger
That's
it.
kind of how people took the skill initially.
why
Like,
do
yeah,
fanfic
wouldn't say
MCs in
translated.
Danmachi?
That's how it was
Specifically-
translated, both fan translation and official translation.
Yeah, well,
I
you know.
won't say it couldn't specifically because of how he was raised by Zeus
Oh, get
and
girls.
the fact that he basically
Yeah.
primed him to go get girls, and the moment Ice shows up, it just clicks. Hot girl, saved my life. I've got to be equal with her so that I can make her love me.
Bell was
Okay, but
basically a kid
Bell,
with fan hype and shit. Like he thought she was the pretty lady. He maybe did want to chase after something akin to that, but he wasn't.
I mean, my
exactly...
other issue with Bell is that for a good majority of the story, he gets by author fiat saying he wins.
that is fair. Some encounters are written well. Others are a little like, wait, that didn't make sense. I think he probably should have gotten his shit stomped in there.
Why do fanfic MCs and Don Machi have them be rejected by all familias in the stories? Like, Belle getting rejected is one thing, but a decently built young adult should probably not get rejected. Well, I mean, that's kind of your answer there, isn't it? Most of these guys are fat, and if they're telling you they're not fat, they're lying.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, that's fair. As a fat guy without much interest in fighting, I'd probably just go bother the potion maker god. It's like, hey, can I just
Kick store in! Potion maker! Teach me to make your strongest potions!
I'd go to Hestia.
What?
Hey, I'd like to do a little.
Yeah, and you'll get instantly denied because you won't be able to stop yourself from hitting on her.
Oh, absolutely not. I would not be able to stop myself.
Yeah.
Luckily,
sexy One-chan redhead. Yes, I'm gonna hit on her.
Wait, pause. Okay, it just hit me. Alright, hit us.
You know what? I'll say it. I think Sign could get into Loki Familia because that would be entertaining as fuck for her, and she just won't let him go in the dungeon.
And what she'll do is she'll make him train every single day until he loses his 600 pounds of fat.
You mean her?
No. What
Hestia
she'll
for
do
Loki's
is
amusement.
she'll tell you'll be like, listen, I'm gonna spend 24/7 hitting on Hestia, and she's gonna hate it. And then I'll level up by running for my life. Yeah, all right.
These families probably want bookkeepers and bean counters, which, like, modern people can probably do better than 99% of people in Aurario, even with burger tier education. Yes.
Burger education's good.
Yes, but no. See, here's the thing, right? Is that bookkeeping and bean counting back in those periods of time were done by people you trusted, not by people that were educated. Obviously, you want them to be educated, but if you had the choice between someone who's educated and someone you trusted, you gave it to someone you trusted.
Yes.
Because the person who's educated that you don't trust is just as likely to fix the books to steal from you.
Yeah, because they can just go
all the books.
They can just go, yeah, don't worry. You's getting paid, don't worry.
Yeah, so even though Burger American could probably do their Excel sheets better than they could, there would only be highly trusted individuals, which is not you.
Earn that trust.
Yeah.
And it will take months to years to get
Taylor Hebert isekaiing into Don Machi as a level 6 monster, and hearing monsters with names like Leviathan and Behemoth are around.
Must purge.
I mean, yes, there are those monsters that can talk. That entire group who broken off from the dungeon who are sentient. But you're basically going, oh, look at my special snowflake character who is a sentient monster. Isn't she great? At that point.
The gods have automatic lie detection. Anyone with meta knowledge should be able to tell them something that would gain their interest and probably to their ultimate detriment. Yeah, 100%, absolutely. I mean, that's the method that Silent actually used in Tanya's story, Tanya and Don Machi. where
works.
Tanya said a whole bunch of shit, and Loki was like, either you are fucking insane, or all of that happened.
And then she read her what's the tattoo called?
Fauna.
So the problem
Fauna.
with
She's got
that,
Reddit fauna.
right? Yeah. So that is fanon. So the canon of the fauna is that the fauna is basically the equivalent of a journal that records everything that happens after you get the fauna. You can't use the fauna to look at someone's history before the fauna. That's like
Now,
that's like
if-
using a Linux log to see what happened before the log started logging. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It's not how that works.
Yeah, okay.
Now, let's be clear. If you get transferred from a familia, or you
We
had
actually don't know
fauna
that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Do we?
Because there
Fauna
were
stay.
fauna stays. That
Unless they explicitly remove them.
When the god dies, the fauna still stays there. It just goes inert.
yeah.
So
Oh,
once
right,
they get the
right,
fauna,
but-
it's
Even,
fake.
that's-
even when you get
that's-
kicked out, even when you get kicked out, it's still there.
Right, but that's completely different. The log is still there. It's not like that's
Right?
that's
No,
different.
I was just saying
Read-
the thing that we know for sure is that you can, right? The gods can read other gods' fauna, and they can, if for whatever reason you had one, follow up on that. Like they could be like, "Oh yeah, you did such and such. Wow, you masturbated 700 times in one weekend, bro."
A Percy Jackson Don Machi crossover that's cross-posted
Yeah.
to web novel.
That
Yup.
is cursed. Oh,
Status hiatus. Oh, first posted in 2015. Last post 2018. Yes. Hiatus, indeed.
Definitely just a hiatus.
Definitely just a hiatus, guys. The really long hiatus. I would know. I'm king of being a really long hiatus. Everyone starts at level 0. Exactly. So if Farmer gets the same boost as the Gladiator. Yeah. Yeah, there is only one story where I was totally fine with the character starting off as a level 10 monster, and that's a Skyrim Danmachi story where Akatosh sends the Dovahkiin to Danmachi to retire.
I think I read that one.
Yeah, and he's
Looks fun
like
for
he
a bit.
starts off as level 10, and basically it gets hand waved as like, yeah, Akatosh kind of just retroactively applied the Falna to him, and it's like, all right,
Kinda got
fair
a bit
enough.
iffy because they kind of
Akatosh
had
said, "You're good."
that like Loki and the others kind of knew of I think the other Daedras and stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't a
think it-
huge fan of them knowing about the Aedra system, but
I kind of just tolerated it for a sake because the story was like turbo casual.
it
wasn't
basically
trying to
never
be
came
that-
up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, the story is
Oh,
about his
man.
retirement.
I'm
so
sorry.
yeah,
All I
it's
could-
like not super critical.
All I can think of now is gods read the fauna of a follower of Molak Ball. What
Oh, no.
the fuck?
Bro,
Bro got a little
Looks-
too enthusiastic.
what the fuck? I'm never gonna be able to look at a pumpkin the same way.
Gods read the fauna of a follower of Sheogarath? Sheo.
Listen, that would be
Sheo
better
Gorath.
than a follower of Molak Ball. They'd just be like, "Wow,
Um.
dude, you did a lot of drugs."
Hmm.
You did a lot of drugs, buddy.
Oh, that was a long acid trip, wasn't it?
The outfit design.
But
was
yeah, no.
requested by a VTuber.
It's just one of those things like, eh. It's like,
Is
neat,
that
I guess.
Is that a company VTuber or not? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Who, the one with the no game, no life
Yeah,
art?
that's some heavy fucking art. Yeah, goddamn.
What? Where? Sorry. Where's
Well,
this?
I'm gonna have
It's
to
art
send this to you in a private message, censored.
Oh, we're
Oh.
okay. We're in Azure
That's
Lane territory. Got it.
Oh no no no, sir, no.
Oh, you're
We're beyond that?
We are beyond.
Yes.
Oh, I see. I think I see.
Sign has
exactly-
provided it to me. Oh,
Uh-oh.
That is disturbing. I'll be honest.
How
how
what's
are they getting away
is-
with that? Also,
How bad
this-
is it?
Do you want me
I'll
to
send it to you.
Max?
I'm sending it to you, Max. Yeah, let me.
it is
It is very
It's
pure
not bad.
fucking
I'd
It is
expect this from
pure
FGO.
lolly bait.
I'd expect this from FGO. I'll be honest.
Yeah, exactly. That's
expected
why
it
I'm
from-
saying it's not bad.
Why did they make? Why did they make I mean, I know why, but the belly button.
Why do you think?
Yes.
Aside, I said I know why. I just
This is,
Ooh, well,
according
Billy,
to the
you
person who
brought it,
posted it,
so-
this was explicitly requested to the artist by the VTuber who asked for this
oh
model.
Jesus.
I think
Yeah.
the
I
fact
mean, I
that the
respect
promo
I
image
respect the nerf,
has
but at the same
zoom-ins on
time-
those is evidence of that. What the?
Has what's on those?
Why?
God, that is,
That is certainly a decision.
Well, I mean, it's like Gura choosing to go for yet another.
No,
Girls is
well,
at least
well,
named
no,
first.
no, no.
Typically-
There is a massive difference between this,
Yeah,
what's
okay,
going on
Saba's
there,
design is
and
tame.
Gura's new design. Very.
Gura, I
Saba's
would not.
design
Gura,
is
I feel like I
tame.
could show in public without much judgment. That one, I feel like I'm gonna get arrested.
No, you
No.
get some judgment for the.
No.
for the
He said
open
he
model.
said
No, no.
much judgment. If someone walked by, here's the thing: if someone walked by and they don't see Gura's full outfit, like they just see the head, you're fine. If they see the outfit, it's like, what you doing there, brother? But if they see
No.
that, they're gonna call the police. Correctly so. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah,
If she's
no,
got the outfit, if she has the
you-
outfit open,
No, even if you see Gura's outfit
She's
open,
wearing a
like, there's
swimsuit.
nothing terrible about it. Like,
Yeah.
Saba's wearing a swimsuit.
yeah, it's just a small, possibly
Like,
child
they
wearing
might-
a swimsuit.
They might
That's
judge ya.
yeah,
but
you're
there's-
getting
it's less-
judged. 100%, you're getting
yeah.
judged.
I want to be
You're-
clear. You're getting judged.
Yeah.
Nothing's,
No one's denying the judgment. But
nothing's gonna happen to you compared to this, where if they see
Yeah.
this, they're gonna call the police, which is the correct response.
it's
Yeah,
like,
that's
I can
that's
understand that as an anime character, as a VTuber model. I don't know. There's something about that.
I
bit
no,
weird.
bro, I can't even understand that as an anime character. That's look, I'm not look, every Dish fan is sucking on every Dish auntie is currently choking down on the fattest rod in existence, because every Dish auntie was going on and on about how Dish was making Azure Lane horny, and how Dish was the one that was making the boobs too big, and how Dish was the reason for this bad thing they didn't like in Azure Lane. And now look at Azure Lane. Azure Lane is the horniest fucking thing on main I have ever seen out of a game that
Oh,
claims
yeah.
to not be porn. I do not like it, and I do not understand it. It makes no sense to me why you would have a character with this design, and we all know what's going on there, and that's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too much. That whole design right there is that's not a bathing suit. That's not.
No, she's just straight up not wearing panties under that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the whole thing
And-
is that you are going to jail,
Yeah, you're going to jail.
Again,
and you should be there.
judging it by its peers, I'm kind of meh about it. I've seen worse.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, let me put it
Yeah.
this way.
Yeah.
I specifically have not for this. I haven't seen worse. I have not seen something more deliberately pedo bait.
Until now, Jackie was the worst thing I ever saw. That has replaced Jackie.
Yeah,
Because at least Jackie's wearing something. Even if it is a
No.
thong on a child.
Oof.
Jackie deserves pants.
She got them in arcade.
I thought she
course.
got a set of booty shorts or something like that.
FGO Oni Girl. Oh, yeah. The one that was child-sized.
Uh,
Yeah. I remember that one.
Wait, which one? The sake drinking one?
Um, Yeah,
Doji
shooting, yeah. No,
or-
that's
okay,
okay. That
there
so
is another one.
shooting
Shooting
that was
Doji
risky.
Gets weird. Shooting Doji gets weird because it's entirely dependent on what the fan artist is
Yeah.
choosing to do with her design.
Yeah.
Because the original design is like, I can see this being a very petite, small woman, because they at least put
You're
curves.
you're
where it makes
definitely
sense.
getting questioned. Yeah, you're definitely getting questioned,
Yeah,
but
as opposed
no
to
one's
Ibaraki,
calling the
which-
police.
as opposed to Ibaraki, which looks like a kid and acts like a kid.
But
Yeah.
it's obviously not a kid.
The little banana of doom.
yeah. I guess.
You know what? Actually, now that you bring up FGO, I will say, okay, you know what? Beast 3 is
You know what? That's fair.
Close.
I completely blocked Beast 3 from my mind. That's second
Everyone
place.
does.
it's a fair, yeah, okay, that one beats Jackie. This one is still worse.
Yeah.
Worse than Shutin wearing a
Yes.
one piece that reveals everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
shooting is
Because
at
A,
least, like
it
I said,
specifically doesn't reveal everything. Like, let's be clear.
even
this
in her
shot,
base art.
Yeah.
Even in her base art, we're not going to go off how fan artists depict her. We're going with how the base art that she canonically has depicts her. This is her concept art. This art right here does not say child to me. There's nothing with her depiction here that
Well, no,
makes
that's
me
just a
think
small woman.
child. Exactly. And because it's small woman, completely changes the context of what she's wearing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't that doesn't even register for me. It's okay, cool, weird bathing suit. Moving on.
I mean, yeah, it
Um,
is basically just a bathing suit.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm not even phased by Shuten's canonical image. Now,
Also,
I
want to be
have
clear.
seen
In
some
Shuten's
fan art.
canonical in the canonical image right there,
Yeah,
guess what?
Yeah.
It is covering more than that VTuber.
true.
To be
Well,
clear,
stage
there's
4 does
there's
not.
there's that.
there's much more suggested. There's much more suggested, but there's less shown.
Yes.
But yeah. So I mean, I've seen some fairly bad stuff, but that was bad in relevance to what I've already seen, to what I thought people would try and get away with. Because, I mean, obviously I'm not counting porn. Obviously, porn is going to have some crazy shit in it because it's fucking porn. It's literally there for you to jerk off to.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bother counting any images made for porn. in the terrible things I've seen, because it's just, yeah, it's what
I
it-
mean, I've seen porn that was less than this.
Yeah.
sure,
That's fair.
but the statement still stands in that I'm not gonna judge a character's art by the porn made of them.
Sure. Otherwise, woo, Saba's already got some judgment going on there.
True. Like Saba, like for example, Saba's actually a great example. Again, you posted it. The anatomy of fish. Like,
Anatomy of
no
the
one's gonna
fish.
see this character and be like, oh, hyper lewd. It's just some generic anime girl.
Yeah.
Like
Y-
to the average person, it's
Yeah.
some generic anime girl. It's not like they don't have any weird things going on. They got some fox ears or whatever, and maybe some fishtail or something that's a little bit weird, but like weird as in like, oh, that's weird. Not weird as in what the fuck. You know? So
And even the stomach thing can be excused for she's in a bathing suit under that, and she
yeah,
lives on a beach. What do you in
yeah,
her, you know?
yeah, she's got fucking
Lore.
lifesavers in her hair, and so it's there's
Or the
nothing explicitly terrible going on in the image. But that image for that VTuber's debut picture, that is
little
Yeah.
much.
Not a little much, a lot much, especially when you
lot
look at
much.
some of those details.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see the folds, the creases.
Yeah, it is very, very weird. Average
Well, I mean,
person
they
now
commissioned a
knows what an
professional
average
manga
anime
to do
girl
it.
looks like. Times have changed, man. I mean,
Right. That is
I want to say
unfortunate.
to an extent he's not wrong, but it's kind of I want to say 50-50. I don't know.
Anyone
Well-
under 40 knows.
I mean, no, it's more like, how to put this. They're cartoony enough that even if I showed like Saba's art that Saba herself put out, not her fan art, just Saba's art that Saba herself put out. If I showed that to my grandmother, she might not know that's specifically Japanese anime style or whatever, or VTuber or anything. But she would understand that is a cartoon character who
Oh, yeah.
is possibly a young girl, young woman, and looks like she's wearing a bathing suit. And there's nothing, like I said again, there's nothing crazy going on, you know? She's not like floating half and half, you know, like there's a fucking genie particles around her or something, or she's not half mimic, she's not, like, there's nothing crazy going on with her design. And so the average, even old person would look at that and be like, oh, she's some cartoon you're watching, eh? Like, yeah, sure, they're not going to know it's anime, they're not going to know it's a VTuber, but yeah, the average person's going to understand it's a fucking cartoon. Now, if I showed my grandmother the other image we're talking about here, first question would probably be, why the fuck do you have that? Second question would be, what the fuck's going on here?
Grandmother would look at you and be like, disinherited.
Yeah, yeah. Take your pick of snake-based Miko Kanoichis. Chiyome's first or final ascension. Who the fuck is Chiyome?
She's a cool ass ninja that, again, is one of those things I look at like shooting. It's like doesn't really strike me as a child, just a small woman. You know what? Let me get
Here's
one of the safer ascensions.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Let's
looking
look
at this
stage
off
2.
screen. Yeah, okay, that's damn stage 1. That is
It's stage 4 goes for even less.
oh, stage 2. Stage 2 is pretty sick.
Oh, stage 2 and 3 are great.
mm-hmm.
All right, stage 3. I'm vibing to stage 3.
Well, let me check this
Okay,
out.
stage 4 is a bit of a regression back to stage
who is
1.
This?
Yes,
Woo!
but again, like clearly not presented in any way as
No, definitely not child. 100%.
Yeah.
There is no way you look at that image and go child. Yeah, no.
And if you do, oh boy, I'm
Yeah, I got
kinda
some
worried
questions
about
for
how
you if
I
you
got
do.
questions about
Yeah,
what
I
kind
got
of child
questions.
you have.
It's always the worst
That's-
when I see tweets like that or messages
That's a
like this is a
child.
child and it's a picture of like a 32-year-old anime character who's 5'6" with a G cup. It's like how the
I will still
fuck
never.
do you get
I will
child
still
from that?
never. I will still find it extremely hilarious that the community on Twitter just has a hard on for going. This one cosplayer is a child, and the cosplayer in question,
Tatsumaki
I'm
cosplayer.
30.
Yeah, it's like the
The
Tatsumaki
Tatsumaki cosplayer.
cosplayer's like
Yeah,
30 or
that
4.
one. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like she's straight up saying, "I'm adult. I'm the one in the picture. Fuck off." And they're trying to tell her she's wrong.
No, you're a child. No?
Oh, or the people were saying that about
Oh,
the
the Usagi
model for
cosplayer.
Eve for Stellar
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I
Oh,
Oh,
remember.
yeah,
They were like,
Eve's a
they're like,
child.
she's a
They're like-
minor.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, I
were what?
remember
Actually,
that.
she's in
Yeah.
her mid-30s, happily married with 1 or 2 kids. Like,
I
what?
remember that, yeah.
Yeah, no. They were. They weren't trying to say she was a child. They were trying to say that she was a minor. That like basically, damn, puberty hit her early.
Yeah, they were trying to say she was like
Which is
16
bullshit.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, although I gotta say, watching Zoomers age significantly faster in their early 20s than any of us millennials have aged in our early 30s, I'm starting to
Ooh, that's
kind of
hilarious.
understand where that misconception on their part's coming from.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, no. Like I mean, like
Y'all are
one of the
aging
most
They are not
dangerous.
aging well.
Well, they're
Well,
not.
you
but
you
like,
see,
one of the
millennials were born in the stress, right? You see, millennials were not merely adopted by stress. We were born into the stress, and so therefore stress does not affect us as much.
That's true.
Unlike the Zoomers, who have no idea what's going on and everything's burning.
Listen. The Zoomers are the ones that the gal is freaking out about. They're gonna die, and we're over here as Orlando Bloom. First time?
Sure, yeah, the Zoomers are like, we're gonna die! Oh. Yeah.
Guys,
It happens every 5
we've
years.
we've lived through several once-in-a-lifetime events. You'll be fine.
Yeah, look,
Yeah,
I've
that being
lived through
said-
like
Getting
6 once-in-a-lifetime
once-in-a-lifetime
events
events.
already.
That being said, I'd appreciate it if we could take a fucking break.
Yeah, I mean, if we could
Yeah.
turn down the percentage of event spawn for once-in-a-century events, that would be great, but, I mean...
Randy, I know
Yeah.
you're Randy Random, but have a little mercy.
Yeah, didn't
Meteor
we
heading to
actually
your
have, like,
location.
haven't we had 3 once-in-a-lifetime storm events?
Oh, yeah,
our
3
document?
once-in-a-lifetime storms, the legendary Cat 5.5,
Yeah.
we had, 3 financial crises.
A
We had-
pandemic.
What was that earthquake?
Oh, yeah, the
big
earthquake,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You guys
Oh,
get stress from
sure.
boomers and Xers. We get stress from
Yeah,
those guys and
w-
the older ones of your generation. Let me tell you, older millennials have a
we
talent
actually
with the
had
damage they can do.
we-
True!
We actually just last week in Georgia, we actually had like 1 or 2 meteorite drop just for extra
Nice.
like fun. It's like, can we
So are
not?
you getting record
I
heat
don't need
too
this
over there?
reminder that there are rocks out there that think poorly of my planet.
True.
So are you enjoying the record heat in Georgia too?
Oh
'Cause I know
man,
we're getting
I
it
don't
here.
give a shit, man. Listen. It's only a
Shit's
record
hot.
because it doesn't get that hot this time of year normally. I don't fucking care.
Exactly.
Also, I have AC. I know not to go outside in this kind of humidity and heat without a fuck ton of water on my person. And preferably a sun hat. If not a sun hat,
Yeah.
ball cap and towel.
Wear an umbrella. Use
Yeah,
an
that
umbrella.
too. If you've got one of those umbrella hats laying around, grab that too. Yeah, it
Older
was so funny
millennials who are
watching.
super left wing, the malice they can do is inconceivable to the boomer mind. Yeah, no, I mean it's. I'm watching that shit now. That shit's
Oh.
funny as hell. They built the system. We tried to warn them, and they said, "Fuck you. You're too young. You don't know what you're talking about." It's like, all right, well,
And now,
get them, boys.
Well, if you
I'm
say
pretty
so.
sure we're looking at the collapse of that particular party in real time at this point.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
That's-
You know,
it's
as much
been
as I like writing
discussed.
fan fiction about them, you know, nothing ever happens all in.
Ugh. Stop tapping the sign.
But yeah, you know what? I think it's time we talk about Tanya. At least
In
one
order-
story of Tanya.
So here's what I'm gonna say, right? Sneaky
Yeah.
mentioning fan fiction got me thinking about this. Here's
True.
how we'll convince all the old boomers
Right.
to leave Congress.
Yeah.
We're just gonna start writing. We're gonna get ChatGPT to write endless
Oh
smutfic,
no.
crossing party lines,
No.
specifically
No.
crossing party lines.
Well, you have to
No.
post it to Facebook or they won't see it.
Exactly.
Mm,
Just
true.
start flooding their campaign pages, right? Listen, Bernie Sanders and Marjorie
Ugh.
Taylor Greene, let's go. It's horrific. Let's
Ugh.
go. Scar
That's a
them all for
nightmare.
life.
That's nightmare fuel.
Exactly.
At least when Palin was running, that was a good-looking lady.
Mid.
She was all right.
Mid.
She was all right.
Yeah,
Judgment
no. Yeah.
Judgment Unleashed.
Hey, look at that! Look at guys, look at this story! Look at this story that's at the top! Look at the story that's at the top!
What Sneaky, what's the story at the top?
I don't know! It's this weird
What?
story called Young Girls Outer Heaven by Saniro.
Yeah, that's very strange.
Hmm.
Rocking up when the Sneaky was right.
No, I dropped an update because people have been complaining that I hadn't. In order to do that update, I had to upload that chapter 5 fucking times. Because
Oh
I'm
yeah.
my
telling
god.
you, your ODT that is under 5 megs is either over 5 megs or not an ODT.
Well,
Fuck
have you
you.
ever tried posting it as a rich text format? Because that always worked for Max and I.
Blech. Blech. No. No. RTF
Why are you throwing up? Explain
I do
this.
not like RTF. I've never liked RTF.
Well, okay, no. What is your gripe with RT? Like, I'm
What is
genuinely-
preventing you from posting it as an RTF?
I don't even know if I can. Let me check.
Yes, you can. I know you can.
No, I
Any
don't know if
software that can output to an ODT can output to an RTF. Don't fucking give me that shit, Mister.
Let me check. Let me check.
No, is this about to be another spicy
Okay,
vinegar
no,
situation?
it does. It does have an.
I'm about to
option
give
for
him some spicy vinegar right up the asshole.
It has. It has an option. for
no,
RTF,
Sneaky,
it
you're
just
supposed to be
defaults
writing
to
fan
ODT.
fiction about the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, not you and Sign.
That's what I said.
Oh God, no! Ugh. Atin. No, bad.
He's the one who said he was going to give you spicy vinegar right up the bum, buddy.
I've heard worse.
Oh shit. You know what? Actually, it's July. I can't say that anymore.
What?
He doesn't get the joke. Oh.
Amazing.
Anyway,
We'll get Section 230 repealed in record speed if you post a single political real person fic from AO3 on the doors of Congress. I'm gonna go be Martin Luther.
Do it.
I'm gonna go nail an
Nail the
AO3
door.
fic to every door
No,
in
no,
Congress.
Sneaky. You need to mail the 95 smuts to the door of Congress.
No, I'm,
Oh Lord.
somehow I feel like nailing. I think the nailing itself is what's gonna get me in the most trouble.
Oh yeah. totally.
true. Defacing
Holy
public
shit, I'm
property.
number...
Well, that and the doors are
Number
fucking
5 in
old as shit and
reviews.
basically historical relics.
Good point.
Yeah, those are
Sticky tack them.
historical. You
Sticky
can't do
tack it
that.
to the door.
True. Yes. Are we gonna
Plus,
do
this
something
wouldn't stop
special for the
somebody from-
4th? Sure.
Show up. Guys, we can start with all of the America fan fiction, starting with BioShock Infinite.
True.
No.
95 worst AO3 tropes. We're gonna tape them to the door. People are gonna bitch so hard when you take a vacation. Wait, who's taking a vacation?
Sign
think you mean side.
announced on his
Um,
other server that he's taking
Oh.
a break on the 4th.
Well, they can blow it out their ass. It's a fucking single day.
No, I'm taking the week off.
right,
Nobody's
well-
complained.
They can blow it out their
I was gonna
ass.
say-
It's a single fucking week.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't heard any complaints.
like,
on
look,
either
it-
my
like, look,
servers or
so-
Subscribestar.
I went to I was getting my Minecraft shit back up into gear, and I'm actually doing a pretty good job of getting it all running again. And goddamn, some of those guys are just totally cracked, absolutely 100% cracked. Like, hey, Fabric mods, that's a completely separate mod loader, runs on a totally different mod loading language and operating and commands and all that fun junk, right? You would imagine you can't run Fabric mods with Forge. People have been trying for ages until this one fucker decided he was going to translate every single Fabric command into Forge commands and vice versa,
I see.
Oh no.
and then release that
dear.
API. And so now you can, in fact, load Fabric mods into Forge.
That is concerning. Oh,
It's great. It's fantastic. It's really important because I was trying to find a saturation mod, right? Because Minecraft food, you have your food bar and you have your saturation bar, which is the bar that
Satiation.
gets used to. Sure,
Satiation, not saturation.
whatever. Satiation. Your satiation bar. And the problem with a lot of things in Minecraft is that your hunger doesn't carry into your satiation if you overflow your hunger. And that's
does
not
it?
really... Nope, does not. And that's not really a big issue in vanilla. But it is a big issue in modded, especially when some of the best foods in the game 100% overflow your both bars. And it's kind of like there's no reward for doing all the ingredient collecting and all the processing steps to get the best food in the game if the
Sneaky. The reward is a sense of pride and accomplishment.
yeah cool story, bro.
Fuck you say.
The problem is it's not even like, oh well, the second best food fulfills it. It's like no. The third worst food fulfills your needs. And so it's like, wow. So there's basically no point to this whole cooking system at all anyway. Okay, cool, lame. So anyway, I got rid of that shit by installing a Fabric. I used to use a Forge mod called Super Satiation, which would just handle the overflow. But recent updates made it get a little weird when it came to crossing dimensions, and sometimes you would eat food from the wrong mod and it would break the mod, and a whole bunch of fucky weird stuff that didn't really make much sense to my squishy brain. Doesn't understand programming languages. But what I did understand is someone had made a working mod for that version in Fabric, which sent me down that rabbit hole of finding a Fabric loader, which was crazy. People are crazy. Give them enough time, they will autistically produce nearly anything you need. True story. But anyway, we're not here for that. We're here to watch how this dipshit right here misspells Tanya's name.
Tinya?
Use you?
Tania, go Black Op.
Ugh.
That's the summary. It's
Oh,
a
very
1,000
good.
word chapter, 11 of them. It has 2 favorites and 11 reviews. That's crazy. Good ending. Dang. Oh yeah. We like this. Now rock. Oh boy. Cool. We love. Tanya. Star quality. How funny. Nice start. So one dude dropped 11 reviews, 1 review per chapter, and they said nothing about the story. Is this even removable? Oh, damn. No, not really. I can't really transparent it. Look, I'm like 90% retarded when it comes to this restream shit. I don't have an official setup. I'm gonna be real. I just linked it to the chat. I knew how to do that. I mean, yeah, I know there's
If it works,
setups
it
out
works.
there. Yeah, I mean, like, but there's setups out there that are using custom streamer versions of OBS that are
Yeah.
like special setups for YouTube and Twitch integrations with add-ons and extensions, and I don't give a shit. I have an average of 6 viewers. 3 of them only talk in my Discord chat instead of my actual stream chat. I don't really care to make it work better. That's more effort than I'm getting out of this whole thing. So I'm just here to complain about the state of modern writing. Spoiler alert. I don't know if you've seen our YouTube channel. Low effort is kind of our MO.
I just loaded up the page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look at the picture for the story 6 down. Don't put it on screen.
Don't tell me that. Well, let me just make
Alright, if
sure
you
it's
want to put it
covered
on
up.
screen, be my guest.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna cover that up with my chat overlay. There we go. See? It's covered up. No one will see it.
What the actual shit?
Uh-huh. Sent to a nunnery. Uh-huh. Spy. Infiltration mission turns into a nightmare when fetish, blah, 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 suspense and parody.
Are we sure this wasn't written by Chibi Reaper?
I mean, it was written by the real NPC. Yeah, I agree.
This man is an NPC.
I'm sorry, what the absolute fuck is this retarded bullshit I'm seeing here right beneath that story? What would our beloved Tanya's life be like if she had something more, something extra, something like education? What if this education wasn't standard?
What?
Huh?
The title is called secondary education? What if she went
Yes.
to college? Spoiler: she went to the war college, and Salaryman
He did go to college.
and went to business school. So dude has education. He is educated.
What the fuck?
Here with class.
I I feel like my brain is pouring out of my ears. So, main character is self-insert OC who believes he's been granted vision and power by God to deliver correction to the brat known as Tanya.
This is how you get shot in the fucking head, but okay.
Oh.
And basically, Being X, downloaded the entirety of the Tanya anime into his mind to let him know what the events would be in the future. And then, he decided he was just gonna give her what for? Or something? I don't know. I kind of stopped reading at the point where he declared he was on a divine mission from God to
Yeah,
correct
that's
the
fair.
brat.
But we're on a mission from God, Elwood.
Yep.
I was gonna say I got a mission from God for a couple of things.
Oh my god. I think they parodied that in Supernatural in one episode where they said something completely ridiculous and the person responded with, like, you could have just told me you were on a mission from God. We're on a mission from God. Okay. That face when you'll never get a mission from God to get a salary man in a little girl's body to fall in love with you. Why would you even live? True.
Alright. Anyway, I gotta go take out the garbage. Which unfortunately for you people means
Yourself?
we get to leave.
Oh, true.
Listen, everyone. Well, let me rephrase that. 90% of this chat is garbage. Max chooses to slum it with us.
Oof. That kind of would hurt if I wasn't sitting in the garbage.
If you weren't making you make
If I
your
weren't making
money
garbage,
from
garbage.
writing the garbage we sit in.
True. Well, it's at least decent quality.
You actively add to the pile. Listen, you're finely crafted artisanal garbage.
Artisanal garbage. I like that.
You're an Etsy reseller. You take trash and you upcycle it.
But it's still garbage.
Right, so
Yeah.
anyway, he poaches Tanya when she is about to
Okay,
exit
yep,
the
this is fucking
orphanage.
Hatton bailed out. You pulled
Alright.
ripcord on that one.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I would too. Which is what we're doing right now, actually. But, yeah, so we'll see you guys on the 4th if you want to join us. I don't know what we're doing, but it's going to be funny, I guess. Maybe, who knows, hopefully. Usually is, right? We're funny here. Right?
Not gonna make that joke. Not gonna make that joke.
Alright, well, we'll see y'all next time because there is